Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome back to another Skinny Man development live stream, because that's what I'm doing these days. Now, last weekend, when I did this last, we worked on creating a new alien enemy, and actually here, let's go show that off quickly. Just give me a minute. Gotta get all the way to the level creator, because I'm definitely paying attention. Definitely paying attention right now. So, yeah, so which one is this one? Let's say this one. Background's weird on this one. Oh well. Anyhow, we made this. Yeah, this is a very weird stage for this hill. Let's go to this one. Yeah, this one has a normal background. So we made this alien last time. I haven't looked at it since last week, and wow, this thing looks weird. I can see why they were studying this, why the government was studying this thing. But currently, it doesn't really do much. In fact, if we press play, did it drop at all there? Or is that just an optical illusion? Here, let's spawn another one. Yeah, no. They don't do nothing. They just kind of sit there. So today we are hopefully going to take care of actually implementing the this enemy in its entirety. Also, hello. Fuck. Green screens. Okay, I actually gotta stand up to fix this. Come on. There we go. Now the green screen is actually covering everything. Alright, so. Alright, so. Yeah, here's the thing. Now I realized last time, or I realized in this week that the way I've been doing this is kind of dumb. Or the way I've been doing these entities thus far, and there's only a couple of them, so it's easy to change right now. It's kind of dumb because the entity itself has a lot of, or requires a lot of different functions to be defined. But especially for stage entities, I could probably just have most of these defined, and that sort of stuff be defined by this specific class. So we're going to work on moving a lot of the stuff from entity that is shared between things into the stage entity class, and then I won't have to have such a big mess of a function here, and I can just get on to doing like the AI related things here. So yeah, let's see. Here, I did not prepare well enough for this. So let me open some stuff here. Alright, that has entity. Now, okay, that should have been all I needed to do, because that's on the other screen now. I don't do anything else. Then we'll go to stage entity, which is here. And this is where we'll start putting more definitions for things. So, entity. Movement manager, that needs to be defined on the very end. The 2 and 3D colliders, those need to be defined. But the get and set positions are gonna actually be stored here. So first of all, we're gonna remove this word abstract from all of these. Okay, that is still technically error, but you know what? We'll let that go for now. So up here we'll create float X, float Y, float Z, and the X position of entity, the Y position of this, and the Z position of this entity. Good, good, good. And yeah, so there's that. And so then for setting X, we say this x equals X, return this, this dot y equals y, return this, this dot z equals z, return this. I will also have to go in through and make constructors for all this stuff, as well as like functions to help with saving and loading and all that, but that stuff's all quite frankly expected. Oh, I got another soda for me to drink during the stream today. The problem with this one is this was kept at the back of the fridge, and yeah, it's maybe you'll be able to see this on camera. Oh yeah, look at that. You can kind of see it, like right that thing. That is ice or frozen soda, so that's fun. And the cap just fell on the floor. Going so well. Okay. Thankfully it landed top down. Alright. Hopefully that thaws out over the course of the stream. So. Alright, down here. Return X. Return Y. And return Z. Alright. So that's all those done. Now we need the velocity functions. Something else that we'll be doing here. So let's see. Let's go float ver tic al velocity. So vertical velocity of this entity. So then the get one, we can just straight up return this, and here we set that equal to v and return this. Alright. That is a good set of things. Let's see, collides with entities. I think I will default that to just return false, but that can obviously be overridden. Any of these obviously can be overwritten if you want to do something wild with it. But for now, we'll just return false just to make things easier. In 3D, that will be in 3D and draw. Okay, those are all up to the actual implementing class to implement. This has been a lot of things that have been cut down. But now I need to be able to, you know, implement and serialize all this stuff properly. So up top, I'll have to create some constructors. So I need a public stage entity, the placement context. So stage entities context. So this, so x equals context dot get x, context dot get y, and z equals context dot get z. Pretty simple. Velocity should always just start at 0, so we won't bother loading or saving that. Ooh, okay, respawn point. Yeah, respawn point should also be set here. Now I'm thinking. And now I need to know how in the world. Thanks, Windows, for not being good at all about it. Okay, I can't do that too easy. Alright. Actually, I guess I gotta cycle through Windows because I can't do that. So, okay, for you, edit. All right. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just have respawn variables. I was wanting to actually look at how saving works. Update. It's been a while since I've made this thing. Save. Okay, so just saves the XYZ and the type. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make another series of floats. So XYZ is the current position, but the respawn position is obviously what gets saved and used upon respawn. So we have float on X, float respawn Y, and float respawn Z. The X position to respawn the entity at. Alright. And then we also copy this and just change this from XYZ to respawn, right? Respawn X. Alright, so that's easily loaded there. Then we have a stage entity that takes a JSON object. Just call it JSON. Okay. All right, so JSON.getFloatX. So JSON .get float Z. All right, and then we're just gonna have these be set to X, Y, and Z. All right, so I will need to do Java docs stuff. Fuck. Okay. Stage entity with SRI. Is this what it was called? Evidently, yes. Yes, that is what it's called. Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. Whoops. That's the outgoing one, not the incoming one. Alright, so, I mean, this is going to basically do the same for this. I believe these are the only three things that need to be common saved. So then we just get float. You know, after I made these all of my serialization stuff, I think I found out that there are built-in Java classes that can do exactly what I want, what I kind of made here. But oh well. I did it how I felt like doing it, and this has worked so far. So, to be fair, I don't know if the built-in Java stuff would have been native code. If it is, that probably would have been faster. But whatever, my thing is consistent, so it doesn't matter. and it's fast enough. Alright, so yeah, that's that. So let me grab, I'm just gonna copy the javadoc strings from the goon. Place a new entity placement context placement. Load an entity from saved JSON data, or the final one, the serializer one, where you create an entity from serialized binary data, and then that should be that. Now the save internal function, which is new, to be clear. So there's gonna be save, and then there's public save internal. I am a bit gassy right now by the looks of things. So what we're gonna need to do here is I'm gonna trying to see how I save the goon. Okay, I just call plus new JSON object. Okay. So we're gonna say data dot. Yeah, let's just actually copy what I did from the goon here. It's just not IOL, it's respawn X, respawn Y, and respawn Z. Because remember, we want to save where it will spawn in initially, not where it's moved to. That was a weird sound I just heard from outside. Yeah, we want to save where it initially was placed, not where it is now. I feel like I maybe should add something at some point to like render the entities where they spawn, but that's effort that I can't be bothered to put in right now. So these are the three. Oh, but there is one more. We need to save the type, which I will simply do by calling the ID function, which is something that has to be implemented. Oh, ID toString. Yeah. So basically, take whatever ID it gives us and get that. Okay, so that's save internal. Save to a file. Should call save internal. Let's put this on another line if you actually happen to be viewing the javadoc. Should call save internal first. And then save the basic common entity data or data and entity type at return a JSON object contains the basic position and type data for this entity. Alright, that's that. And the other one that's important is going to be one that isn't already in here. It's going to be serialize internal. So what this is going to do is going to do the whole... Basically, I'm just going to... Well, this doesn't do everything. This only should do up to vertical velocity there. Other things you'll have to add yourself, but it's a common ground that will be able to be deserialized. Oh, I guess I should be having everything separately deserialized, right? Because this is probably going to be sent in flight and not just when a level is loaded. That's right. So it needs to handle both in flight and... Okay, so yeah. Oh my god. Can I just rename? No, renaming doesn't work. O-C-I-T-Y. Okay, I kind of at least want to have that named correctly. Alright. Okay, the common entity data that serialized. Call this first in your serialize function. Return serialized data are representing the basic information from the entity. There we go. Alright, so I need to get the rest of the stuff in the serial constructor here. So basically these all just need to be get float, get float, get float. Apart from this last one, which actually that's also a float, but I actually need to add it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 floats make up the base of an entity. And then there's other data as well. There's a couple booleans that we'll probably be needing to add there. But from the perspective of the data that each client needs here, all good. But the basic common data. I guess I consider whether the entity is dead or not. I guess I consider that to be unimportant common data, that you can decide how you want to play that stuff on your own. Perhaps I should just include that in here. I'll not do that for now. Alright, so then I have two entities I need to go update with all this various information and make... Oh, I also have to call the constructors here. So we don't need to worry about this anymore. In fact, this is something I might want to serialize here. Well, con text, super context, super data, and super iterator. Alright. Alright, so that should be that. Now we need to go find the other entities that I have made. There should be 2 of them, I think. It may take me a moment to find them. Here's the base entity. Here it is. Okay, so this is where we need to get a lot of stuff needs to be gutted. So all this can just be replaced with super context. And this can also be replaced with super data. But then up to here can be replaced with super iterator. And those last 2 are fine to stay there. Then get rid of all this. That's not necessary to keep around. Let's see. This is all fine. Here we go. So the set XYZ, get XYZ, and vertical velocity can all be removed, as those are now taken care of in the super class. Collides with entities false, that's fine to override here. In 3D, that is required. Draw is also required. Draw 3D, we're not doing anything yet for this one in 3D, so I will probably at some point. The kill stuff. Respawn X, Y, Z for you is dead, that's fine. Save. Data equals save internal. Alright, that's that. Player interaction result is required. Update is required. Okay, serialized. Everything before dead needs to get removed, and instead of this, we say not do that. Internal. What? What did I name it? I don't know. Dang it. Oh, serialize. I meant to change that to serialize internal. Dang. Okay. Alright. Okay, so that is all now up to date for the goon. One more I think I gotta do. Would be... Wait, what is that? Is that simple entity? Is that what I called it? Yeah, that's called simple entity. Alright. Oh, look at this. I used the functions here. How smart. And context data. Oh, super data. And everything before dead is super iterator. Save. So I don't remember really saving many of these. So we're going to just say movement manager stuff. Here, all this stuff can get deleted. Get XYZ, set XYZ, all that. I will come back to this. Actually, I'll show that. Actually, so I've also been thinking about how I can actually make entity-on-entity collisions work properly, because currently they don't. Draw. Spawn Y. Respawn Okay, so update, yep. Alright, so all of this was internal. And we just add that extra one there. Alright, perfect. This should now be up to date. So that's good. All good stuff there. Yeah, that's all I had to do in entities. And actually, let's just now run the game, make sure nothing is incorrect. So I never returned data there. And whose fault is it for not showing me a red line, eh? Processing's fault. They were supposed to show me, hey. Yeah, I thought they were supposed to be improving the experience for like how errors are shown, but I don't know. It does not seem to have gotten better. Alright, let's open my test level here. Scroll down to Entities 2D. So here, this is the simple entity. What's it doing right now? Well, it's not doing anything because the game is paused, but it is still computing. Want to know what it does? Well, no. When the game runs, this is what it does, and I can't see too well because I'm over here. Let me just put myself in here so that it can... Yeah, it just kind of randomly moves around like this, and was basically the test for how I can do an entity and maybe some AI stuff. So there's it going up and down a slope. It's in a corner there. Where it goes, nobody knows, because it's entirely random whether it turns a specific direction on or off, or any of that. However, here's the thing. Go back to simple entity. It's really quite simple. If I turn this collides with entities to true, we'll see why I never did this in general for entity to entity as it currently exists in the game. Because there was a slight problem with this. I think I know how I can fix this and also make entities just like feel better when there's multiple interacting with one another in the future. But that's going to require a bit of a change to the physics engine. So, you know, that's a bunch of fun. So first of all, I will... Hello? Oh, I'm on the tools. I was clicking on tools, like, why is the page not changing? Because yeah, okay. My own game, and I'm not realizing how it works. Alright, let's put a platform in here. Make things slightly more interesting. Oh, I just realized that I can't actually place more of these things because I don't have them in the toolbox. Whoops. Editing the level file right now also seems a little bit annoying. But yeah, one entity alone is no problem. They can eventually move around just fine. Physics works as you would expect. Also, actually, this is an entity jumping. I realized the goon can't jump, so this is something most people just haven't seen in the game before, I guess. I guess I gotta go actually add the ability to place these things in. How did I make it so you can't see these things in the toolbox? There was definitely a way. First we'll look at the registration of entities. Because it is definitely registered. Yeah, simple entity... Wait, where's the... Oh, the goon is right here. It's probably in the toolbox where I made this thing not render. Toolbox window. Or entity buttons. No? Oh, it must be in the entity registry then. See, I don't even remember where I did this to make it so this thing doesn't appear. Entity registry. Okay. Yeah, it literally just, if it's the simple entity, then don't do other... Okay, if it's not the simple entity, then add it. Otherwise, just do all the other things. So what the IDs array is here is this is actually how the toolbox, it raises this array to figure out what it needs to generate in terms of buttons. And so by not adding something to this array, you can effectively make it so that it'll function correctly in the game, but you can't place it from the toolbox window. So, or true. Let's just disable that for now so I actually can place this thing. Because it does have full placement functionality. At least it did. I actually haven't tested it since I've overhauled the toolbox, but I'm fairly certain that it does. We do have another button, test entity. There we go. They are all independent. Let's put down 5. Let's build a platform in the middle here for me to stand on so I can see what's going on, and also for them to jump off of a bit. And now here's what happens. Oh, it's a bit far up. But whatever, you can see all the entities. So now you'll see they actually do collide with one another, because I did turn that on. I do kind of have something in there for this, but there's a problem with it. And if we let this run long enough, we will actually see this. There, it just happened. How the heck did that guy go through the platform? That shouldn't be possible. But it is, and that's the reason why I don't have entities colliding with one another right now. I think I have a way to solve this, maybe. Okay, that guy just glitched the physics engine out to get on top of this platform. Hello. These things, they're just random agents, though. They don't actually have any, like, any sort of knowledge or skill to what they're doing whatsoever. They are just random inputs. So, you know, they can't exactly strategize how do they get up here, or how do I break... Okay, clearly there's some sort of bug where if they're running into the walls and jumping, it just lets them go to the top. That's new to me. My physics engine is not the... Is that... I'm pretty sure the player can't take advantage of that, though. And also, they can't always do it, though. It doesn't always work. Oh, now I'm confused. You see... Okay, it happened again right there. They just went through the platform. Now, to be fair, how they get to the top kind of makes sense, because once you're inside of something, the game will automatically try to push you up and out of it. That's just how the game works. But the problem is they get inside of it somehow, which is what causes that to happen. Also, if there's an entity, it's currently set so that if there's an entity on top of you, you can't jump. Right? And yet, I think that still somehow breaks things, because ordinarily, if there's not other entities involved, they cannot go through a solid object. They just won't. They will always just run into it. Like here, I will show that by... I am not drawing anything right now. So let's see, they are about that tall. Yeah. Let's wait for them to get... Okay. See? They can jump all they want there, but they won't actually make it through. They're not. That's not exactly their height, but it shows my point that they shouldn't be... That the behavior that they exhibit sometimes, when they're both jumping underneath the surface, should not happen. Ever. So I do need to figure out why my physics engine is so broken. But this is kind of a mesmerizing thing. Like, you could probably watch these guys jump around here for hours. Then again, there again, they just went whoop right through it. There it goes. And that's the problem. They just went right out the top there somehow. I don't know how that happened. So I will need to make sure to change my physics engine a bit. It's going to be, I think, a little bit of a recursive process for entities. So basically entities are just going to be able to ride other entities. What I want to have happen is when an entity is on top of another entity, they will be considered kind of linked together. And when the bottom entity moves, it'll then, after the bottom entity successfully moves, it'll then go to the entity above it, check if it can move. If so, do that same movement with it. And that's for horizontal movement. For vertical movement, it'll just combine all entities that are stacked on top of each other. It'll combine that into one big hitbox, and then you treat that as the hitbox is using for jumping collision. That's my plan anyway. I don't know if that'll work. This guy will eventually jump into the void, and I don't think entities get auto-killed. So, I probably should make that a thing. The player gets auto-killed. So entities should also probably get auto-killed. Anyhow. We're not here, though, to talk about this entity today. We're here to hopefully actually get an AI for the alien done. But it's been 41 minutes and we haven't done that yet. We've just been doing some boilerplate stuff. So I'm going to let these guys just kind of jump around and I'm going to go to the bathroom. So I'll be back soon and you can just be mesmerized by the content on screen. Ooh, mesmerizing. Alright then, so now that you're sufficiently entertained with these guys jumping around, we can get back to work. Now I actually don't know what the heck I want to do with the alien, but hey, for now, let's just close that, get rid of this, and back to the alien itself. So there's its render, blah, 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 blah. Now, I was thinking... Oh, actually, I guess the first thing I kind of want to do is related to the hitbox. Because currently, we do have our hitbox here, but it's kind of bad. What I want to do is I want to figure out how big the hitbox should actually be. Make the... Because I realized the center point that I was using for reference here is not the actual center of the entity. It's... actually a bit offset from that. So what I want to do is I want to calculate where the actual center box should be, and then offset x and y by that much in this function here. So, well, basically I have 48 and 70. So we go 48 divided by 2, that's 24. So we're not going to have anything with the spacing. It's just going to be x minus 24, and 70 divided by 2 is 35. So y minus 35. Alright, actually the y didn't matter, but just for convenience I'm doing that anyway. So, crap, I want to... do want to have that there. Okay, so all right, no, it's 24, 35. All right, so of course it will have to depend. Okay, well, for the Y, because the Y height total is like 70. So what is the, let's just find the highest value of Y. So we have draw Y plus 32. Let's just control F for draw Y plus. Oh, it doesn't do. So yeah, I mean the legs is going to be where it's at. So draw Y plus 40. Okay. So it goes down 40 and we want 35. And so we're at 35. It's at 40. We need to subtract 5. That is correct. So minus 5. All right. So Y minus 5, and then minus that, and then of course the camera adjustment stuff. Then X is going to be a little bit strange because depending on the facing direction, it's a little different. Now, I think well, if the formula that works for that the bottom one there is correct, what I should just be able to do is I should just be able to do 30 minus 24 and 18 minus 24. Plus or minus 6. But which direction's which then? I'd say. So here, we'll. This is entirely a render thing. So I'll say this one is plus 6. So just 6, because that's bigger. And this one is minus 6. And then hopefully that'll be rendered in the correct place now. So when I just place the entity down, it'll look like my mouse was on the center of it, basically. Also, we haven't tested the hitbox at all yet, so. And I don't have any way to visualize hitboxes in this game. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe I should fix that. Let's go back down to here. And we'll just... Okay. I don't really want to print screen. Yeah, that seems relatively centered. We'll call that centered until further notice. Alright, so that's the visual adjustment done to simplify the hitbox, so that specifically this is so that when it turns around, its hitbox doesn't shift position, because that would be very, very bad. So that's the hitbox done. Now we should do the movement manager related stuff, because a lot of this stuff is whatever. Entity. Oh, right, we actually got to update this. So, obviously, I updated this stuff, right? I never got rid of the set XYZ and vertical velocity shit here. Alright. So, kill, respawn, dead, serialize. Okay, return. Realize internal. Currently, that's all that matters. And save, return, save internal. So that's actually, so it should actually be able to be saved and loaded now. I'm not gonna, but it should now be capable of that. And no player interaction results for now. That is fine. Specifically, we're going to want to do a movement manager thing here. And I'm going to inline this like I did in the simple entity because it's not worth it to give it its own class, really. So new movement manager. So public boolean left return false, and then it wants stuff like reset public oh, it's not, it's a void. I forget what reset's supposed to do. I should look at my own documentation. Here, I will put these things in the order I want, not whatever the fuck Java tells me to do them. So public boolean right. Let's jump. Wait, I don't remember what else this thing needs. In and out, right, so boolean in and public boolean out. Why did I make this thing okay, I think I really just got to remove serialization from this thing, because I've never once actually serialized the movement manager itself. That feels a bit unnecessary. I mean, I'll have to add this. And I'll just return null because it never gets used anywhere. Return null. And then it also needs serialize, which again is just going to return null because I don't care. Return null. Oh wait, no, that's not in a function. It seemed like, I think the reason why I did this is because originally this was included in the serialization stuff, but considering what actually happens now, this should not be included in serialization. Okay, so return false, return false, return false. And nothing needs to be done there. I should actually go look at what reset does, because it does something, and I just don't remember. But anyhow, now that we have a custom implemented movement manager here, we should see a massive difference in how this entity interacts, and maybe a little bit of hitbox testing can happen here. Alright, test level. We'll just continue in here, because why not? So, we place down our alien, and then when I click play, it jitters in the air. That is exactly what I expected it to do. Whoa. Ah, the camera's not acting correctly, I see. So, I think, have I not done... No. Well, horizontally it's working correctly, it's just vertically not working well. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, that's a render issue. Right, because you have to add the Y camera position, not subtract it. Duh. The jittering is interesting. That's probably nothing I can really do much about. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Entities 2D. Place there. Click play. It falls. It jitters in place. Way more than it should, but it does. We actually don't know why it's jittering in place like this. Like, the player doesn't do that. The other entity over there isn't jittering in place. Huh. Maybe I need to just, like, shrink its hitbox by a wee bit and it'll be fine. Anyhow. Now let's test if I aligned its hitbox horizontally correctly. So, we'll just set right to true for now. So this will always move right then. You know, I'm kind of with the way thinking about the way I built the system. It is a little bit surprising that I didn't be that I wasn't like, oh, each entity needs to implement its own physics engine. No, that would have been too much. I already have a perfectly functional, a perfectly usually functional physics engine that we can use. All right, so we get the alien here. What the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck was that? Here, I'll put another one. What the actual fuck is going on with that? Okay, let's go to the simple entity. See, what did I do for this movement manager? I mean, I collapsed it all onto a single line here. Ah, I used reset to randomize the input. Huh, interesting. Oh yeah, each one contains its own internal randomizer apart from the jumping, which is just math at random. That's fun. Let's see what the hitbox did, because oh. Yeah, I forgot to flux. Yeah, because it was thinking, oh, your current position is fine. Oh. There we go, that's probably why. It was only checking its current position, and it's probably correct in its current position. It's like, alright. Yeah, important to kind of do this shit. Oh boy. So alright, so once again we'll try this. We build a wall here. We spawn the alien here. It moves to the right and stops once it hits the wall. Brilliant. Okay, also that's probably why it was jittering, because it didn't have the Y offset in there. That makes a lot more sense. Oh boy. That was very complicated to figure out. Alright. Alright, and this is the player's size compared to the alien. I don't know how combat with this thing is going to work so far, but we can figure that out later. I think... So I don't know entirely how I want the AI for this thing to work just yet. Obviously I gotta do AI somehow. Oops, I just spawned another one. Oops, I just spawned another one. And then they all just kind of pile up there. Because, right, they're not moving left or right. Alright, I also said jumping to true. What's going to happen? To jump, true. Alright, let's see. Not logic. Entities 2D. We want 2D for now because 3D is a whole can of worms because I don't even have a 3D sprite for this shit yet. They're a little desynced in their jumping, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, entities jumping. Alright, I guess I gotta actually figure out what the heck I'm doing for the AI for these things. This is the hard part. So basically what I need to do with these guys is, okay, what I'm thinking I want to get out the whiteboard to draw something here. I guess hold tight. I will, shit. I knocked the light over. I knew this was gonna happen at some point. It's cheap plastic shit, but still. Ugh. Okay. That was bound to happen at some point, guys. Alright, erase the whiteboard, because that's not useful information on there at the moment. Grab a couple markers, hope that these ones are probably not dried out. Alright. Should probably do a more thorough cleaning of this whiteboard at some point, but anyhow. But yeah, that color probably won't show up too well on camera. Look what that one will. Alright. Got the whiteboard. And this time I will not trip over the cable. Alright. So, alright, let me get doing a little drawing here. Again, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but I'll try. Alright, so. So we'll say that's our let's do that. Cover this. Okay. That's that. How different is this color? It's just darker. Okay, well, that might be less obvious. So we'll put this here. So sure, that'll be our little alien there. So to kind of show what I want to happen, hopefully this will show up on camera well. Okay, yeah, that shows up decently. So, here, I realize my tiny little camera there will be horrible for seeing this, so let's go into this view. Hi, I'm bigger now! And I got the whiteboard. Okay, here, I need to see what's going on too. So I'm gonna, here, temporarily move OBS over to the other screen so I can kind of see what's happening. Oh, okay. That's in line. So, here we have our, I guess this is our stage, our platform, whatever. The player would start, like, over here somewhere and go bump, bump. This blue guy, that's our alien. I know. Great artistic skills, right? Anyhow, so that's our alien, and these kind of pinkish lines on either side, that kind of represents what it's doing. It's kind of going to be like a wandering thing. So it'll start by, like, I guess, going, say, this direction, until it gets a certain distance from its starting point, in which case it'll be like, I've probably traveled far enough in this direction. Let's go search back the other direction. It'll then travel back this direction until, at this point, it either hits, that, or it hits, say, the edge of a cliff and realizes that it'd fall off. I guess if it also hit a wall that it can't go over, then it'll be like, let's turn around here. So that's kind of what I'm planning. So that's what's going to be like its idle animation. So it's going to be different from the goon. The way the goon works is that it just kind of it just moves in a direction until it thinks it'll fall off or hits a wall, and then it just goes back the other direction until it finds the same situation. So that's the way the goon works. There's no bound to where it's at. This thing is going to be self-bounded, basically. That's my goal for this. But I'm not sure if I want to end it there, or end the AI there, or, and this is here. Gotta erase a little bit here. I'm bad at drawing this. Alright, so here's where we go. So, now we have a little player here who's over here. This little dotted line represents the alien seeing the player, in which case it moves towards the player. I'm not entirely sure if I actually want to have that be the AI behavior at the moment, but I'm thinking that that is something I might want to do in the future. If not for this, then definitely for a different entity. Yeah, basically. So, let's go back here, and let's get figuring out how to implement the AI. So, moving... Okay, so in this situation, I guess its moving direction here, facing right, is also going to be used for moving. So... this is going to be if this entity so that's going to be the basic thing that controls horizontal movement. I don't think it's going to want to jump yet. I don't want to think about making an entity's AI smart enough to be able to jump just yet. We'll get there at some point, guys. So right, instead of being true, that'll be facing right. And left will be not facing right. So it will always be either moving right or left, basically. That's great and all, but we haven't gotten any sort of thing yet. So here, do I have a constant somewhere for entity movement speed? I guess I don't. I'll have to look at the physics engine for that. So that would be under level collisions, which I really need to rename this file at some point. Down to the physics engine. So, entities move slower than the player at 0.2. Alright, good to know. So, float, adjust. Actually, we'll do it 0. We'll have it look a little bit farther ahead. Actually, we'll have it look a player's distance ahead, so it'll turn around a little bit before a wall. We'll start with the detect a wall, and then turn around if you run into a wall thing. Then we'll get the falling off the platform, and after that we'll get the limited range of motion. Adjust is equal to MSPC times 0.4, let's say. So, what? Double? Oh, 0.4 F. Yeah. Alright, and then we say, so that's all, so if not facing right, that is not correct, then adjust times equals -1, and then so float new x is equal to x plus adjust. So And then so we're gonna do slash if in 3D do 3D testing things. I do want to put this entity into 3D eventually, and I do realize this is not sufficient information to figure out whether 3D is good. Oh well. Oh god, a 3D AI is way more complicated. It'll probably move in like a box. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, so that's our new X. Or no, actually, we don't want that yet. No, we don't need this actually. We'll just use E-adjust for now. So we'll get collider 2D. Ground level box equals, and then get hitbox 2D and the X offset is going to be the E adjust and 0 for the Y offset. So then once we've collided 2D space, we collide. So okay, we get that. What? Oh, wait, how do I do this? Now we need to check if this hitbox is going to be hitting something. So, collision detection, collide 2D. So, if collision detection dot collide 2D, and we provide the ground level box. I corrected, did I? C-O-L-L-I-S-I-O-N-C-L-I-S-I. Collision detection. Oh, right. Oh. I really should just make this a combo box instead of just an array list, because this thing wants another one. So for collider 2D box in stage, because I'm doing an enhanced for loop here. This should be synchronous code, so we should be fine. Collide that with box. So collided equals true, and then break. All right. So if it collides with any part of the stage, obviously, then we're gonna want to say, so if collided, then facing right equals false, or not false, not facing right, and then we can return, because that's all we need to do at that point. So that's how we check for ground level collisions. Also, this doesn't check for collisions with entities, because I did not provide any of those, I just realized. Also, the problem with entity collisions, or checking if we're on top of an entity, is that would also include the hitbox of this entity if it collides with entities. I'd have to maybe figure out a way to be like, oh yeah, and by the way, you are this index, just skip that one. Or maybe I just actually implement a proper like equals function to the collision box. Maybe. Alright. Anyhow. So then after we check that, They're basically just implementing the Goons AI here, but we're gonna make it more complex. So we'll take this again. We'll say for 1 down. So this ground level, we'll say under GRO underground box. And then this is the one that we want to collide with. So we'll reset collided to false. Should already be false, but whatever. We'll set it back to false in case it... And then we'll check if we're colliding with the underground box. Maybe it'd be faster if we did these all in the same loop. Perhaps. Optimizations for the future. Anyhow, so if this new hitbox did not collide with something, then we're about to run off a cliff. We'll make this down 2. Actually, 3. 4? We'll make it down 4. That way it can kind of walk downwards. I hope. Actually, in order to make it walk upwards, I also might need to change this to actually go up a few things to check for collision. Yeah, that should be the basics of its AI then. This return statement is redundant. But yeah, basically, that should make it turn around if it either hits a wall or is about to fall off the edge. In either direction. So... let's go back down to P2D. And, let's just place one here. It's in the air right now, so it's going to continuously flip its direction. Oh, I forgot I set that to true. Crap. I need to make it so it doesn't jump all the time. Ever, actually. Never jump, because... Right, if I make a jumping AI, I'll have to make it not check its ground collision in the jump, because then it'll get confused. AI is complicated. It really is. And this is a very simple, very basic AI that doesn't really... that only really remembers what it was doing last and decides whether it should keep doing that or change to the other action that I've given it, which in this case is move the other direction. Alright. Okay. It's working! Goes from there. Oop, goes there. Goes back. Goes there. If I say put in another little block here, it should bounce off of that one as well. It does. This is working very well, guys. I know how this AI should work. And if it almost runs off there, to be fair, its hitbox is a little bit big. So the hitbox does look like it's working properly. Yay, I did the hitbox right. And also the render adjustment correctly as well. I mean, to be fair, it's like being on the edge a little bit. It's no different than the player. Okay, the player does not have very much space to do that with, but it's not really much different than the player kind of hanging off the edge a little bit. Okay, let's see how it does with a slope, because auto stepping for slopes is a part of the AI. Okay, cool. It actually handled that slope correctly. That's not a very steep slope though, so let's do a much steeper slope. Because I know sometimes that... no, it's like, no. Oh, that's too steep for me, guys. Oh, or not. You see, this is the problem with steeper slopes, is that they'll think that they're about to fall off. So they'll just hang out on top of it like that. It's fun. Can I kill this person? Okay, I can delete them. Okay, that's good. Let's go stick one in this box and see how they do down here, because that's where they're going to end up. Actually, no, they won't. Also, I do for some reason call update even when the game is paused. I shouldn't. That's a waste of compute. You see, that guy will stand... This thing is... it's a hologram. Okay. Okay, let's put another one... Oh, that's not going to spawn another one. Let's put another one down here. Yeah, and it's the type of thing that'll get stuck on top of that. I've had the same thing happen with the goon. Actually, I need to move because the goon is hostile as it currently sits. Actually, I figured out how to get the goon to be okay with this slope, I guess. I just need to make the alien a little bit more forgiving. So, to do that, we need to check for fall off. That's the problem. Update. So for check collide with wall. Check collide with ground. So we will put this at 8 down and maybe 2 up. I have no idea how much different this will be. This is all random guessing and checking. All right. Spawn you there, move me here, and click play. Okay. Not much better. This is evidently quite steep. Obviously, the player, that's you, doesn't really care. This thing does. So let's go, let's say 15. That's kind of extreme. 15 units downwards to check if it's colliding with something. Or if it's on top of something. Because, you know, it is a hitbox. So any little bit of collision will validate. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, put you there. Put the alien there. See, now it's good. It doesn't care anymore. I mean, to be fair, its hitbox... It is really... It's weird. It feels like it's flying. I mean, because of how big its hitbox is, it feels like it's flying. A little bit, but hey, that's just how its hitbox works, I guess. Alright. Now I want to get that wander behavior. So... the wander behavior will be defined. So this is, it's like prioritized behavior here. If you collide with a wall, turn around. If you're about to fall off, turn around. Then its secondary behavior will be its wandering behavior, which doesn't involve collision. It's just like, have I gone this far away, this direction? So let's say float wander or max wander dist is equal to, let's say, 100 units. And then we're going to take float wander distance is going to be equal to x minus respawn x. So that's what its distance of wander. We're going to judge based off how far from its respawn point has it moved. So then, and we're going to split this into facing right and not facing right. So if facing right, else. So if facing right, and so facing right, x is going to be getting bigger. So if the wander distance is greater than or equal to the max, then this equals else. So this is where we're going to have to do the opposite. So if we're moving left, facing left, if that is less than or equal to negative max wander distance, then we set to true. So that should be our wandering back and forth AI a little bit there. By the way, this has completely melted, I think, a while ago, so yay, I guess it did warm up over the course of the stream. So actually, I don't know if this platform is going to be big enough to see the full wandering animation, but it is. Look at that, it worked. Now, 100 is honestly short. Because 100 units, and a unit is a pixel, 1 pixel at 720p. This is 900p, I think. Well, vertical resolution, because that's what actually matters for the scaling of stage. So, 1 unit is 1 pixel at a vertical resolution of 720. This is at a vertical resolution of 900, I want to say, which is like 1.25 times as much, but still, that's not actually very far. So like right now the player is at x20, okay, and if I move to about where his starting position is, that is now x320. So let's say 300 is the max wander distance. You know what? I think I also might want to make entities completely configurable, like I have for logic components and regular components. So, I mean, I haven't added stuff to the level creator yet for selecting, but I can make this entity specifically configurable, so that when I do make that a thing I can do, the toolbox won't have any problem accepting it, and I can just use everything I've already designed for the configuration system here for the entities as well. So, okay, that hit the edge there, and I can't tell if that hit the edge there. Let's extend this platform by a fair amount. Okay, that's just right at the end of its range there. So yeah, it's working. Also, if I do that, will it, I mean, obviously it won't get there. Will it climb over that? Or will it cause it to turn around? Causes it to turn around. Okay, so I think I want to put this at -10. And then I'll make this configurable so that you can configure its wandering distance per entity. That will have to be saved though, because I haven't done any saving of this thing yet. Or haven't saved this thing yet. So that max wander distance will probably have to be transmitted serially. Will, definitely. Its facing direction obviously has to be. And then also it's what it'll have to save and load, obviously, the distance it's going to be wandering. Do that. Let's do a little bit of ground right there. All right. All right. Yep, that looks right. So it'll go over little bumps like that, as we would expect it to. All right. Let's do the configuration stuff, and then we got to save a few properties. So extend to stage entity. Variable. Get property. So go all the way down to the bottom. Public property array. Get PRTs. That works. Actually, let's override that and make sure I'm doing that right. So return new property array that is entirely composed of a single new integer property, and this wants a just int property? Okay, this is a constructed thing. So here. What is it? Val? I hate processing suggestions here. It's not actually useful. Go find the integer property, and it's getter, setter, then name. So it is the getter, so we'll do that, and to return I set this as a float. Oh, this is not a class-wide variable. We'll just make this an integer up here. Wait. That is not class-wide, that is the draw function. Up here, here we go. Int max wander distance equals 300 by default. So we'll say that returns max wander distance. New value to, and then this can just be a little bit thing. If new value greater than 0, then max wander distance equals new value. And then the string for the name. Oh, I'm missing a right parenthesis somewhere. Am I? Oh, yeah, I am. Right before the end of the array. Okay, max wander distance. Alright, so that is all the configuration needed. Obviously it won't work yet as I don't have any way to select an entity. But where's the update function? I then just need to save and load all this stuff. So we'll get that out of there. So you can just use the global one now. Oh. I didn't shorten it, that's what's going on. Alright. So we get that. Then saving, loading, and all that sort of fun stuff. So for here I just kind of did nothing. So was data.get int max wander. Then we'll go quickly put that in the save function. JSON object data equals save internal. Then data.set int max wander distance. And then return data. Then for the serialization here, so we'll serialize the shit out of internal. We'll end up returning data, but data dot, I forget what these are. Is it right int? Okay. Add int max wander distance. Yep, that's it. Okay, so we add the int there to serialize. And then we got to come up to deserialize here. I'm going to say max wander distance equals iterator dot get int. Yep. And then serialization is also going to need this. So facing right equals iterator dot get boolean. And then we're going to say data dot add b. I was in the wrong function. I wanted this one. Not save. To save, we don't care about the facing. That'll just be changed. But this is going to be real time. Add boolean facing right. Is it just add bool? Did I do that? Why did I do it like that? Whatever. So that should be... Oh, well, I guess I haven't done combat yet. And I honestly don't know what I'm doing for that. How is my player going to be able to kill... kill this entity? I don't know. Maybe it'll just be like the jump on top of it. But I want a more reliable way of doing that. Like... And the player interaction results. Or I guess, well, I gotta obviously get dead working. Player interaction result here just comes with a player hitbox. It doesn't give me any other information about the player. Is the player moving downwards? What's going on? So I'm gonna just leave that alone for now. I'll get the dead stuff working though. That stuff is important. So dead equals false. This is another thing that we're going to have to deserialize. Iterator.get. And we'll have to make sure to serialize that because the whole system breaks if we don't perfectly synchronize if we don't perfectly read and write the same number of bytes, everything breaks. But as long as we read and write the correct number of bytes, it all works just fine. I could actually probably do something to validate, hey, this object didn't read the correct number of bytes, but I don't know, something else will just crash probably, so it'll be fine. Kill, respawn. Set X to set Y to set Z to say Z, and then dead equals false. That's important. All right, so that should be that. I mean, there's not currently a way to kill, because I'm pretty sure the player interaction results is specifically for the entity killing the player, I believe. Yes. Player interaction result has one thing going for it, and it can, in the end, it will do multiple things. Or eventually, it should do multiple things. It should potentially, like, allow the entity to be like, I'm going to launch the player into the air, because that could be a cool mechanic for, like, a walking trampoline or something. And actually, I believe for these functions to be triggered, the entity has to, or the player has to be colliding with the entity hitbox already, and this instance of the player's hitbox is more or less so you can verify things. But again, I want more information. Like, is the player moving downwards? Are they standing still? Stuff that I cannot be fucked to do right now. But all that being said, this should be the alien relatively finished right now. I just saw something I never changed. Place a new. Place an alien. Load and recreate an alien. Alright, so that is 1 hour, 40 minutes. Pretty good here. Let's see. Don't know what I want to do next if I really do want to do anything next. Anyone out there in chat land have an idea for what I should probably be doing next? I guess I should test saving and loading of this thing, shouldn't I? Alright, let's put this thing in the test level, save it, then load the test level to make sure that it didn't do something dumb. Because it'll like probably do something dumb. Test level. Let's put this in the 2D entities stage. Specifically, we'll put it over here with a little test entity. Blah, blah, blah. They can move or whatever. Okay, let's click save. Game didn't crash. That's great. Let's exit the level creator. And reload the test level. No problems there. Let's make sure it actually loaded properly. I am a genius. I mean, you know, I've done this like a million times before. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have to figure out how I'm going to get its model into the... I have to figure out how I'm going to get its model into the box here. Actually, let's do that. Let's figure that one out, actually. Let's get the alien's model into this little box here. I think what I want to do from that is I'm going to have public static void render alien. And this is going to take a pgraphics renderer. It's going to take a float draw x, a float draw y. So that's going to handle the camera position and scaling, so that's good. A float for scale and an interfacing. So float scale. Then I should just be able to take all of this, render alien 2D. Alright, get that in there, and then we're going to just delete it all from here. And then this, we'll just call this render draw x, draw y. Scale and facing. Alright, So this should not have changed anything about how it actually renders, but this should allow us to access this texture from outside of the actual game. So we'll go back in here, quickly place it down. Looks like that works just fine. Then what we can do is we can go down to register here, and in terms of this is the function here, or this lambda expression is what actually does the render. What we'll do is we'll go c dot render 25y plus 25 scale 0.5, and we'll just do a facing of 1, and we'll see how this works. Or see how this looks. You see with the goon, for some reason I was just like, hey, I'll put the entire thing, or I'll render the entire goon in this function. Or I'll do the entire goon render here instead of standardizing it. That's probably a bad idea. I should change that. Let's go here. Alright, that is actually a little bit small. I want that to be a bit bigger, actually. But you see, it is now rendered here. We are going to... Oh, I do not know how I did that. So 0.6, let's... it's just 0.6. I want it to basically fill this box. Now, this would be very... Actually, I'm thinking of something that would be interesting, but I just can't do because I didn't give myself the ability to do it. It would be cool if I could, like, have it face towards the mouse. But obviously... Okay, that's actually about the right size right there. Actually, maybe I need to move the X up a little bit. Yeah, move the X up a bit, and then I can scale it up a bit more. But I don't think I've given enough information for these button renders for them to be able to have a mouse position on this screen in particular, and therefore be able to face it. But okay, we'll move that X up to 20 and try 0.7. I'll try. Let me see. Render the mouse X. Let's see if this... Yeah, mouse X is not a thing on here, so I have no way to check the mouse's position. So that's not possible right now. There is technically a mouse X variable that exists, but that is for the main window, which has nothing to do with the second window there, so I should not use it, because I do weird things. Weird, unexpected results, basically. Oh, hey, look, coins. Alright. That needs to go up actually a little bit more, and then I'll probably say that's done. So we'll say up to, say, 15. Not 150, 15. Oh, that's not right. 20. I realized I just changed the wrong thing. Exit. I realized I didn't change why I changed X there, so no wonder that was off by a little bit. Wee bit. Wee bit. Alright, and stage 1. There we go. Yeah, that's about it, good enough. That gives you an idea of what's going on. Alright, so with that, I don't have anything else I want to do today. So I'll wrap the stream up like 10 minutes early. That's fine. It's whatever. But yeah, so I think this was a pretty successful stream. I guess next weekend... What do I do next weekend? Well, I'll probably have to actually implement... Well, okay, I'll say I'll implement combat, with this thing, but that's going to be hopefully relatively simple. And I guess I'll just find something else to do in the code base after that. So, hey, turn in next week if you want to see that. About the same time as this stream, unless something comes up. So yeah, with that, I'll have to say thank you all for watching. Hope that you enjoyed the stream. Please make sure to leave a like on your way out, and subscribe for more content like this, and also just general Coolcraft content. New episode came out today. Check that out. Turn on notifications so you'll be notified of future streams like this one, and I will see you all in the next live stream for Skinny Man development. Bye!